Let's now explore our medium tier item. This one should be the bread and butter of your business. Most successful online trainers that I know have their vast majority of clients in this bracket. In fact, the most successful online trainer I know who's making anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 per month has about 200 clients in this bracket. So he's able to very effectively scale his business, make a lot of money for not a huge amount of time investment. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So with the setup of our mid-tier item, we're going to deliver the same onboarding process as we give our low barrier to entry product. Again, remember, the main difference is the amount of individuality and interaction that they get with us that divides the product tiers. In this product tier, we may individualize the program at the beginning. And one of the cool things about individualization that a lot of coaches don't talk about is that it's not done at point of sale. It's not done when the initial program is written. Sure, you may individualize the exercise selection based on the screening that you've done, but you need to learn how the client moves, how they respond to stimulus, what kind of diet they have, what kind of lifestyle they have, to be able to make meaningful individualized changes to the training program. So again, we're not spending a whole bunch of time up front individualizing the program. We're going to do this as part of a check-in process, which is a really cool way to maximize the time spent every minute of your business to make money and get better results. So for the mid-ticket product, the main difference is the weekly check-in. And what I recommend for the weekly check-in is to take advantage of the tools and kahunas in two different ways. The first thing is to always do a video check-in for the vast majority of your clients, unless they've been with you for a very long time and they don't need that. The video check-in introduces you to the clients and actually starts making the clients feel like they can trust you and what you're telling them each and every week. And with the video check-in, you can go through their results while you're delivering this and tell the client exactly what they need to do, what they should expect the next week, and what they may need to work in. When you do that, it gives the client clarity on what they need to do, and then you use the messaging or the email app to reinforce that in a very, very simple instructional manner. So when I'm doing a check-in, I'll go through the client's result, I'll go through their training, I'll go through nutrition for the week, and I'll go through their body composition and other markers, such as their habits, and then I'll explain what happened, what I think they can do next, and where they need to improve. In the text that follows that, I simply write, "Hey Paul, here are your action steps of the week. 1, 2, 3. If there's any problems, please let me know." This is a really efficient way to do it because you're giving the client the video feedback and engagement with you to be able to see what they need to do, and then you're giving them very clear, very specific written instructions in a way in which they can then respond to you via the text messaging service in the app, where you're not going to be stuck on the phone or Zoom with that client trying to solve that problem for them. It's a much simpler way of doing that. Now, the next step in the mid-tier item is providing that level of check-in and accountability over the course of a week. And there's a really cool method I'm going to teach you that's going to work really, really effectively for everyone. I've seen it improve retention in every student that's applied it to over 90%, which is a phenomenal mark to have for your online training business. And it's the 3 text a week check-in system. So what you need to do, first of all, is one check-in with the client to actually give them some feedback and some action steps to do. And that will normally happen on a Friday or a Saturday. Most check-ins are best left to the end of the week, so you can actually see what the client's done over the course of their training week. Now on the Monday, the first day of the week, what you're going to do is actually remind the client again of what they're meant to do that week. "Hey Paul, how are you? Hope you had a great weekend. Just a quick reminder, your goal for this week is to focus on protein with every meal. If you have any concerns or issues, please let me know. Speak soon." So what this text does, it's really easy to do. Send the text and you're reminding the client of their goal and that they are important to you. This is such a huge thing in online training because so many clients don't ever really get to know their trainer, and they don't get to know how much that trainer cares about them. So this solves these problems, and it also presents an opportunity for the client to bring up any issues or concerns to you. This is really good because it happens on your terms rather than the client messaging you late at night. You've already addressed something before it becomes a problem. So it becomes a very time efficient way to do things, and it allows you to schedule your week in a way where it works for you, where you're in charge of your schedule and you're not tied to your phone all the time answering questions. Now on the Wednesday, so middle of the week, you send a message to your clients again asking if they're having any problems with it and if they need any more help. "Hey Paul, how are you going with your protein intake? Any issues so far?" Really, really simple. It basically reminds the client again of what their goal is, and it allows you to pick something up before it becomes a major problem. One example of this is actually getting the client's workouts in. So if you're running a semi-private training gym, you probably know by now that if a client hasn't made it to a session by Wednesday that week, they're probably not going to train at all. We need to make sure we pick up problems earlier in the week rather than later in the week, so a whole week doesn't become a waste of time. A lot of clients will go into this pattern where they miss something at the beginning and they'll start to think, oh, this week's wasted, I'll just pick it up the next week. This is not the most productive way to get results. In fact, it's only going to set them back and lead to some pretty significant psychological setback issues when they have more and more problems in the future. So we want to nip that in the bud now and remind the clients of what their goal is, what they're focusing on the week, and how we can help them solve those particular problems. Now on Friday, it's the easiest check-in of all. You send the client a broadcast through Kahuna saying, "Hi name, hope you had a great week, can't wait to see your check-in, I'll respond within 24 hours. So it allows you to remind your clients again that they have a check-in due, that you're excited to see it, and they're going to get feedback, so you're setting the expectation. What this does, it eliminates the excuse that the clients have that you didn't remind them for the check-in. Although the check-in should be on the client's terms, a lot of the time clients need to be pushed to actually submit their check-in. And it's really important that we do that, because if we don't get check-ins, how can we give our clients feedback on what they need to improve on and what their next steps are? It's really fundamental to the success of an online training business to get check-ins to the clients so you can help people get their particular outcomes. So this 3-step check-in text sequence basically allows you to make sure clients feel important, that their goals and their action steps are top of your mind and you're keeping on top of them, providing them accountability and making sure you care about their check-in. It's one of the most effective ways to make your business very time efficient, get the clients the best results, and have a high degree of retention. In the next episode, we're going to go into the high ticket items, so your top level product, and how you can use that to get your clients the best results, provide an awesome service, and get the best testimonials for your business.